big fight stateside, August 6th. Battle of the unbeaten welterweights. Michael Mickinson takes on Virgil Ortiz. This is the fight that was supposed to happen, let's not forget, around March. It didn't happen. Virgil Ortiz pulled out of that one. We spoke to Michael Mickinson back then, myself and Tony Bailey, who's away. It's me going solo this time. We spoke to him back then. He was confident back then. He's going to be a lot more confident now because he went to America, still had a fight, beat Alex Martin, and he joins us now, Michael Mickinson. You must be a bit more confident. Now that you've been to America, you've experienced everything, you know how it all works. You must go into this fight more confident than you did last time.
Yeah, they should have got me in March. I'm a completely different fighter. I'm much more developed. There's been lots of improvements made ever since. And I've had 6 months to prepare for Virgil Ortiz now. So I'm happy, I'm confident, I'm well prepared. Just can't wait to get there.
I don't want to ever sound negative. Is there that fear in the back of your head? Because again, when we spoke last time, it was a couple of weeks out as well. Is that fear that Virgil Ortiz might have a mishap again? Look, we don't know if he's struggling with the weight. He's a naturally big boy, having to boil down to 147. Are you prepared for the worst in this one again?
As long as they've got a replacement on standby. No, I think there's a lot of pressure on Ortiz to fight me, and I'm sure he'll make 147, and I'm sure he'll turn up on the night, because obviously he's got that pressure now that everyone's going to be thinking the same. When I was over in LA, a lot of people that knew him said they didn't know how he made 147, so he is a big guy for the weight, it's no secret. But I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll make weight. I'm sure he's healthy this time round. So yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah, look, we all want to see the best Virgil Ortiz versus the best Michael Mickinson. So fingers crossed, the weight isn't an issue for him. Let's go back a couple of months to that Alex Martin fight. What was that experience like, having sort of to fight a replacement on what was like a week's notice?
Could you imagine what that week was like for me? So the Tuesday, I came out for I was doing my California State medicals. I came out, had my manager on the phone, and he said, yeah, it's off, but they still want you on the show. This was the Tuesday. Yeah. Now, from Tuesday to Thursday, in that 48 hours, I said yes to 7 opponents. And I could remember a few of the names that I actually said yes to. And it got to the night before the weigh-in, and the Mexican that we thought we was having was ridiculously heavy. So they said, you've got 2 choices. There's a guy that's already flew in that's like, will fight you, he's fit, he's a welterweight, which I think he knew he was fighting me already. Like, something told me he already knew. But or go home. Now he's a southpaw. So I'd spent 4 months preparing to fight Virgil Ortiz. To fight a slick, very skillful southpaw was complete opposite, but I was there to fight Ortiz, so there was no way I was going home empty-handed without a fight. I had good numbers that had flew in. I'd prepared a long time for it, so I was like, whatever name they said, I said yes. And the night before, obviously the night before the weigh-in, the opponent changed again. It put me in a bit of a different mood, a bit of a sour mood. But I said yes, and I got the job done. It was not the fight that I anticipated. It was a clash of styles. He was a negative southpaw, and I had to fight a way that I didn't fight. I don't normally fight. So, but as they say, adapt and overcome. I've got my US debut. I've got another win. Yeah. Comfortable win on points. And yeah, we managed to get the fight again.
Honestly, I first of all have to commend you. A lot of people would have said, you know what, enough's enough, I'm going back home. Not many people will risk their O on an opponent that they don't know, right? You've been training for a style. No one does that. People go home and think, okay, I'll live for another day, and you know, my name's still out there. I'll get a fight again. For you to say, no, I want to fight still, and then get the job done under tricky circumstances, I think you need to be applauded.
Yeah, I think I left the States last time with a lot more fans because of it. Yeah. The media, the American public, and they all appreciated it and respected what I did and what I went through that week and still fought. So yeah, it just shows the type of character I am. I know there's a lot of people that probably wouldn't, but I was there to fight. Like where the way I've come up, I've never had luxuries in my career. Yeah. I've always had to take whoever there is. I've never been able to pick and choose who I can fight. So yeah, like that's why I took the fight, and like I'm glad I did.
Yeah, and I think it's important you did as well, especially you almost tick a box in terms of their eyes, like, okay, look what happened to him, but he's still willing to fight. So I think it's good from a Golden Boy perspective as well. Was you promised the Vergil Ortiz fight next regardless? Like, was you said, okay, look, if it doesn't happen, we're definitely going to get it again in August?
They kind of lightly said we could get it rescheduled, but all the talk is weight and stuff like that. So I wasn't counting on it. And nobody actually knew if he was going to do 147 again. So I left America thinking that that's not going to happen. And then when I see that he was going to do 147 again, I was like, right, my name best be first on the list. And it wasn't. It wasn't on plan B. So I wasn't first choice, but nonetheless, shout out to Golden Boy for still, because when there was talks of him and Avanesian trying to get a deal, there was a lot of US fans on Twitter that said that's not fair, they should fight McKinson, he should fight McKinson.
Right.
So that put him under they put Golden Boy under a little bit of pressure. But yeah, like fair play to him, they offered me it again, easy to negotiate with, and yeah, well, exciting times. I've got it now. We're nearly here.
Mike, what's it like, this journey in the last sort of 12 months? I mean, like, I met you at Fight Camp a year ago, and to a lot of people, they might have not watched the Chris Kongo performance. So to a lot of people, you're almost this unbeaten welterweight that not many people knew. Now they know who you are. Everyone knows who you are. You're very vocal on social media. You're going to headline it in America, which is a lot of people's dreams. And not just headline against anyone. You're headlining against a guy that a lot of people think is going to rule the welterweight division, or even 154-pound division for years to come. This must feel surreal.
It is. I remember when I went to LA first time, and I was supposedly headlining. When I went to LA, and Eddie messaged me and said, "Like, remember, you're there in merit.
Yeah,
there ain't no fluke. I'm here. I've done things very hard, from the very bottom to get where I am, and every single time I've proved people wrong. I've beat this guy. I've beat this guy and worked myself up. So, firstly, I definitely deserve to be in the position I am in. I deserve to be fighting Vergil Ortiz.
Yeah,
and yeah, so it's kind of, the surreal thing is, I've been at the bottom where I was struggling to sell tickets to do 4-6 rounders at the beginning of my career, not getting paid to fight, to where I am now. That's surreal, like the journey I've been on. But I always knew I was good enough. I always believe in my hard work. And it's took a little bit longer to get where I am than most people, but you know, I deserve to be here, and like, I'm not shocked.
Yeah, no, and you shouldn't be. I mean, your hard work is finally paid off. It's funny, I was interviewing a fighter recently in America, a guy called Luis Veron, who you fought a couple of years ago, yeah. And we asked him the question, it was myself, Chris Mannix, Todd Grisham. We was like, Luis, who fought Alexis Rocha, by the way, a couple of weeks ago. We said, Luis, who was your hardest fight? And he mentioned you and another guy. And everyone around the table was like, okay, everyone was like taking notes, like, 1 second. Maybe we've kind of have underestimated this Michael Mickinson kid a bit here. He said that you were very, very tough, very tricky. He couldn't work out your style. And I think they're going to find that out August 6th. You've got a style that I don't know where you find sparring for this style, if I'm honest with you. It's very, very tricky.
Yeah, like, you can get all this awkward southpaw sparring in the world, and you're not going to get anywhere close to Michael Mickinson. Like, and that's the honest truth. But yeah, Luis Veron, like, since then he's had a few losses and stuff like that, but people forget I took his own.
Yeah,
he was a proud man from Argentina that came over with his own. I think we were both 17-0. I dropped him twice.
Yeah. I thought you got no power. I thought you got no power, Mike.
I know. No, did I drop him 3 times? 2 or 3 times? I can't remember. But yeah, like, so like, people do overlook that. Obviously, I like Alexis Rocha and his team. Lovely people, great fighter. but I beat a better Veron. I beat a better Veron. So yeah, people forget like who I've beat to work my way up, you know. So taking fights as the B-side, not the Veron fight, but I've taken the fight as a B-side several times. I've fought unbeaten guys, I've fought huge ticket sellers, I've fought standout amateurs, and every single time I've passed every challenge with a smile on my face. So yeah, the rise has been good.
Yeah, let's be honest though, this is a different type of challenge, isn't it? I mean, we all know how good Virgil Ortiz is, regardless of what happened last time out. We've seen the names that he's beaten and the way in which he's beaten them as well. This is a difficult one. When you look at his style, obviously, look, it's fast, it's aggressive. Do you look at it and think, okay, there's still mistakes there though? Like, you're watching it differently from me. Are you watching it and thinking, okay, a mistake there, we can capitalize on that?
Of course, that you like he's a beast. He's a beast. And I plan on taming that lion. I really do plan on taming that lion. But he has been vulnerable. There's been plenty of flaws, and he has been vulnerable, and he has been in trouble in fights and stuff like that. Whereas you can look back at 22 fights of mine and pick out somewhere I've been vulnerable, and then I'll be shocked. I've never been in trouble, never been vulnerable. Okay, he's fought at a higher level, granted. He's fought the better names. No fault of mine, but I've never been in trouble. So I deserve to be in a position. And you know what? I am Virgil Ortiz's biggest test today. 100%. He's fought big names. He's fought like big fighters, but they've all came with the same type attitude, the same. He's never fought anyone with an O, and he's never fought anyone with my style. So I'm stepping up a few levels in this fight, and it's a big task for me. But I'm a huge task for Virgil Ortiz. I'm something new for him. So yeah, it's all exciting. It's all exciting. The 7-1 underdog. We like that. Yeah,
a couple of guys in Pompey might be making a couple of quid come August 6th. You only look at the welterweight division. Obviously, the top two are the top two, right? Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, and then you have almost 5 or 6 in Ennis Brown. Jaron Ennis will be in there. Keith Thurman. A lot of people are putting Virgil Ortiz in there as well already. Do you think he's a top 5 welterweight?
Yeah. Because he's been a beast and he's knocked everybody out. But I tell you what, every knockout streak comes to an end. Somebody tagged me in something of Nigel Benn and Michael Watson. He was 22-0, 22 knockouts, and he met Michael Watson. You know, something. I see that yesterday, and you know, this has got the feels of when Lloyd Hunnigan went over and it was a huge underdog and beat Donald Curry. You know, like I really do believe in myself. I have huge amounts of respect for Virgil, like he does me. He's a very humble lad. He's a nice guy, but I'm not in awe of him. Like I've said before, I'm not in awe of him. It's took me long enough to get to the position I'm in. I don't plan on just ending it here. You know, I'm in touching distance of great things. Like, this fight's life-changing for me, but beating Ortiz changes my children's life, like my daughter's life, my grandchildren in years to come's life, you know. So I know how important this is. I know it's a huge, huge fight for me, everyone around me, but I also know I'm mentally capable of doing this.
Michael, look, finally, just before we wrap, again, we spoke about what this does for your life if you do win. I even think, on a lesser scale, even if you put in a really good performance, I think you're there. I think, you know, you stay within the mix of really, really good fights. But if you do win, you obviously know everything changes completely. Like, your life completely changes around, because this will be one of the biggest upsets we've seen in recent years with Brits going over to America. Have you allowed yourself to think just a little bit? I know, you know, you want to focus on the job at hand, but if you allowed yourself to think a little bit how your life does change if you do beat Virgil Ortiz?
I haven't fought anything past August 6th, because this is my world title. This is my world title, and that's the way I'm seeing it. But you could just picture how my life will be afterwards. You know, like like as people keep saying, overnight superstar. Overnight superstar, like, and then I call the shots. I call the shots in my career, you know.
Hey.
I've never had the luxury of, I've had to just take every opportunity given to me in my career. I've never had any luxuries. Never had anything given to me. But after I beat Ortiz, I get to call the shots.
You know what it reminds me of a little bit, Michael? It reminds me a bit of George Kambosos.
Yeah.
Go on the road, you know, difficult fights, you know, Lee Selby and obviously going to America, Teofimo Lopez. Got the win. Yes, he's lost recently, but got the win. And that was it. I now call the shots. I'm the big dog. And obviously he's changed his life as well because he's made a lot of money since then. There's a bit of George Kambosos in this story, I think.
Yeah. People like the underdog story, don't they? Like, people love the underdog story, and I like having the underdog title. I've always performed better being the underdog. I love proving people wrong. I'm obsessed with proving people wrong. Now I get to do it on the big stage, like headlining in America. So, yeah, it feels good to be in this position.
Michael, good luck, honestly. I think it's going to be a great fight. And I really do genuinely believe that you are going to put up a great performance. Michael Mickinson versus Vergil Ortiz, August 6th from Texas, live on DAZN. You really don't want to miss this one. Battle of the O's. As they say, someone's O has got to go. Unless it's a draw, and then we do it again. Michael, really appreciate you coming on, man.
No worries. Thank you.
Cheers, dude.
A serious young fighter with an unblemished record.
Ortiz Jr. I want to see Ortiz continue his destructive ways.
Knockout number 18. Win number 18.
He has everything going from the power, the discipline, the destruction.
And he can be a multi-division champion.
Michael, the problem, Mickinson!
He's going to cause major problems to Ortiz.
Good shot there from Mickinson.
And he's a very difficult opponent. Still undefeated.
It's power versus the club.
Michael Mickinson has a style that is difficult for anyone.
Does Ortiz have the solution?
One of boxing's hottest prospects. Oh, the left hand drops him.
Michael Mickinson is ready to shock the world.
Still undefeated.